Thank you for watching the Solid Sports video blog. This is the Thursday Night Football edition. As this week's game is the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, today's date is December 12th. Well, it will be by the time I finish recording this video. Episode 83 of the SSVB. I want to thank everybody for the support and for watching. As I said, with work, my recording times will be different. I have to pretty much do them late at night and record them overnight. So that's what I'll be doing for the next month, unless I'm completely off and I could do some videos during the day. But my blogs, I'm going to probably have to start doing them a little bit early. So this vlog will be up earlier than usual. Usually be up around, say, before noon. Now they'll be up probably in the middle of the night, probably about 1 or 2 in the morning. Then I try to do some editing when I get a chance to. But of course, this is the Thursday Night Football edition, the Wednesday edition of the Solid Sports video blog. Big game in the AFC and in the AFC West, as the Chargers at 10-3 will face the Kansas City Chiefs Thursday night. Pretty much, if the Chiefs win this game, pretty much clinch the division. If the Chargers win, they can still clinch the division, and they probably will officially clinch a playoff spot. Kansas City clinch a playoff spot with the thrilling win over the Ravens in overtime on Sunday. Chargers was able to take care of business in Cincinnati and beat the Bengals. So they beat the Bengals. I think they played them at home, I believe. It was a home game. But it's a huge game for a Thursday night game. Big playoff implications in the AFC. Chargers, see where they measure up. Had a pretty much solid schedule. They played the Chiefs earlier this year. They lost. So let's see if they can revenge that loss, even though it's in Kansas City. And the Chiefs look to try to wrap up the 1 seed, which they already got a 2-game cushion on that. We're going to start talking about the Chargers first. How good are they really are? Of course, I just mentioned they have an easy schedule this year. The Pittsburgh win the night before, the Sunday night of week 12, since this is week 14. Well, this is week 15, so week 13 at crazy Sunday night comeback makes you think, well, maybe they is legit. Haven't had Melvin Gordon in the last couple of games, so they won't have him for this game, I believe. He's already been ruled out. So we'll see how they run their offense. Phillip Rivers will probably have to do a little bit more to get the Chargers to win. Speaking of Phillip Rivers, a lot of debate about him all the time. Is he a Hall of Famer? Never played in the Super Bowl, let alone won one. Furthest he ever got was the AFC Championship game. I believe it was 96 against the New England Patriots. I think the year before they were undefeated. Or that year they did go undefeated. I believe they played the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, but that's the furthest Phillip Rivers ever got in the Chargers. Of course, they were still in San Diego then. But in my opinion, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I ain't gonna get into first ballot, second ballot, all that. I just think he will be a Hall of Famer one day. His numbers will be definitely be legit for him to get in. And I think here today, just look at how competitive he was. Probably one of the most competitive players I've ever seen, especially at the quarterback position. So I believe Phillip Rivers will eventually get in the Hall of Fame. And a lot of people were on their bandwagon for this year. Think they play a good football regardless of their schedule. They look like a sharp team, so we'll see how they stack up against the Chiefs this Thursday night. I just mentioned the injuries that the Chargers have. They've had a lot of injuries this year, including Melvin Gordon. So we'll see if they can still ride the ship and give the Chiefs a challenge on Thursday night. It's going to be a tough game. It's supposed to be probably chilly. It's a night game, so you know it's going to be chilly in Kansas City. Chargers, like I said, they beat the Steelers. It was a little chilly there when they came back and won that game. I think they were the East Coast another time this year. I think it was against the Jets or someone, but you know, a less formidable opponent, but still going playing basically at 10 in the morning, they regular time, and being ready for that game. was impressive as well. So, but they 10-3, legit 10-3. We'll see if they got back into my power rankings or did they move up. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But the Chargers, I like them. I think I wouldn't say they're the second best team clearly, though they got the second best record right now in the AFC. Patriots still gonna have something to say about it. Houston Texans, even though these teams coming off losses, Houston will have something to say about it as well. So we'll see it. If the Chargers don't win this division, they will have to go on the road pretty much the majority of the playoffs. So that's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage as well. But definitely a team to be reckoned with. Definitely a sleeper team. I guess you can't call them a sleeper team because a lot of people are thinking they can make a run. But going on the road is going to be tough for them regardless of their record if they don't win this division. So, but they're going to try to wrap up a wild card spot, which I think they will with a win. I think obviously they'd clinch because they 3 games over the 6th seed Ravens, and right now the Chargers would be a 5th seed in the AFC. Let's move on and talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, of course, 11-2 of the year, been consistent all year, especially scoring the football. 2 tough losses, 1 to the New England Patriots on the road by 3, and then they lost a shootout to the Rams on the road. I think they lost that game by 3 points as well. Patrick Mahomes been consistent all year. Are they clearly the best team in the NFC? You gotta see right now, they 2 games ahead of anybody else, the only team. Oh well, 1 game actually if you look at the Chargers, but as far as for the 1 seed, the other division leaders, they all have 9 wins. New England has 9 wins. I mentioned Houston. So that's the South and the East. So the North is the Steelers. You know, they're only 7-5-1. So Chiefs right now, clearly the best team in the NFC. Probably the best team in football right now. Going off how the Rams just coming off a loss and the Saints getting themselves back together as well. But they did win and bounce back this week. Pat Mahomes is the truth. Yeah, he is. I say the first couple of games I was like, okay, I want to see more, but now I see them in big pressure games. The Rams game, which I mentioned, even though it was a loss, and the Patriots, the 2 games he lost, he still played well. This game, the Ravens game, all he can handle. He had to make the throws. Almost turned the ball over a couple of times, but bounced back. Was able to win that game in overtime. Arm talent, probably up there in the top already, one of the top quarterbacks in that. Like just his pure arm strength and how he throws the football jumps out at you. I think he's for real, and I think Andy Reid is a big component in that as well. Lead and aid. The Kareem Hunt thing, like I said, I talked about that before. Kind of a blowback to me for the Chiefs, but the running game still consistent. As long as you get some consistent from the run game, they can feed off the passing game. And the skill players, and other than Hunt, of course, he's gone. But Tyreek Hill, probably the fastest player in the NFL. Travis Kelce, I think people say he's the best tight end in football. I can't argue with that right now. Gronk had a monster game this week, but hasn't been consistent. He's been hurt a lot. Kelce has been the most consistent tight end probably this year out of everyone. Even though Eric Ebron is coming on strong, and Greg Kittle from San Francisco, who I had something to say about that as well. But Kelce probably the best tight end in football, so he got a good team around him. Just need that dynamic back again to really set this offense on another level. But I think they did take a step back by losing Kareem Hunt and letting them go. So the Chiefs, big game. You know, if they win this game, they clinch the AFC West and will be right there on the doorstep for the 1 seed in the playoffs. I believe if New England and Houston lose as well, they will clinch the 1 seed as well. So they can wrap up everything this week if everything goes right for them. But the bottom line, I think the Chiefs will pull this game out. They're at home. Short week for the Chargers, like I said, without Melvin Gordon. Even though honestly, I forgot the running back. I know he's a rookie. He's played pretty well off and on. Had spurts of playing well for Melvin Gordon. But Melvin Gordon is their leading running back. They need him But I think the Chiefs were able to move the ball as like normal, and I think the Chargers just won't be able to keep up with them with the points. The Chargers defense underrated, make plays. They have to make some plays in this game, but I think the short week, I think the Chiefs will have advantage. I got the final score 34-24. I think they win by about 10 points. Maybe a little closer, maybe 27-34. I hate predicting scores, but I guess this is something you got to do if you're going to talk this much about a game. You got to predict the score. So that's my score, 34-24. And the Chiefs will get back to 30. Only had 27 last week. Was one of their lowest scoring games all year, which is crazy. Ravens gave them all they can handle. Ravens are a dangerous team in the AFC as well. We'll see what they do at the quarterback position this week. Not to get off topic, I think the Chiefs will win this game and wrap up the division, and then look forward to getting that 1 seed, hoping everything falls right by the weekend. We'll get to the power rankings in a few seconds. There's 2 games Saturday. I was going to do a special for those 2 games, but like I said, I just don't have the time now. Well, I could do it on Friday. Friday I have some free time. But I don't think so. I think I'm just going to go ahead and lump those 2 games within my regular Saturday vlog, which like I said, I'm going to have to record sometime Friday anyway, so that's why there's no point in doing a special. Then still have to do my blog. So I'm just going to do put those 2 games in just like normal Saturday. It's just the games actually be played that day, and I pick all the games for week 15 on Saturday in my Saturday vlog. Talk some NBA, of course, as well. Baseball moves starting to be made as well, so we'll talk about all that on Saturday. So join me for episode 84, but we're still at 83, and we're about to get to the power rankings. We'll start from 5 and move up to 1. Of course, there was some changes. A couple of teams lost last week, so some changes has been made. So we'll start from 5 and work up to 1. We had a tie for 5th last week, but this time we had a team that was in it for a week, dropped out after the loss, and then got back in. The Chicago Bears, impressive win. And even though it was at home against the Los Angeles Rams, shut them down, only allowed them to get 6 points, which was probably, the score was more surprising than the win itself. But still a big win for the Bears as they look to make a statement in the NFC. Probably won't get one of those byes, but definitely it'll be a 4-3 record if they have to go to New Orleans or LA. Can they style of play travel with them? We'll see. They was not right last week. They get back into the rankings at number 5. Number 4, just talked about them. The Los Angeles Chargers. I always saw them San Diego, even though they always beat San Diego to me, in my opinion. Chargers, they was tied for 5th with New England. New England lost. That heartbreaker to the Dolphins. So it's hard for me, like I'll say, well, should I punish them for it? But a loss is a loss. Chargers move up though, as they took care of businesses against the Bengals. I talked about them a lot already. We get Melvin Gordon back. If they can win this game Thursday night, it'll definitely be huge for them. And they will definitely clinch a playoff spot if they get that done. Chargers going to be another team you'll be reckoned with. They might have to go on the road and win some games, but might be capable of doing it. They come in at number 4 in my power rankings. Number 3, the Los Angeles Rams. Just talked about them, about the Bears. Bears beat them. They was number 1 for a couple of weeks. They fall to number 3. We'll see if they can bounce back. Just probably the worst game they played all year. The other loss was the shootout against the Saints. This game, just the offense pretty much looked shut down for the first time all year. Todd Gurley was shut down, so you're liable to have one of these games. You know, nobody don't go 16-0 except for the Patriots every year, and the Dolphins, I should say, too. But Rams, let's see if we can bounce back. They fall down to number 3 though after the loss to the Bears on Sunday night. New Orleans Saints, they come in at number 2. Of course, the Saints was number 1 for a while during their streak. They lost finally the week before. and then they come and bounce back and win a game, which was close for a while. They had to pull away against the Tampa Bay Bucks, but they was able to do it. Still 11-2, still have a chance. But right now they will be the 1 seed because they own the tiebreaker against the Rams because they beat them, and that's probably why I put them at number 2. Even though I think the Rams are playing slightly well. You could argue that the Saints are playing a little better as we speak now, but right now they would have the 1 seed, so that's how I split those two up and put the Saints ahead of them at number 2. So that means number 1, if you've been paying attention, Chiefs been steady all year long, and they get the spot at number 1. They was number 2 last week. They've been in the top 5, I think, the majority of this season. So have the Rams and Saints, but Chiefs has already been at least in the top 2 or 3. And they get to number 1. Impressive win, even though it was overtime win against the Ravens. And really, if you just look at their whole season, they 2 losses to the Patriots, who is going to be formidable, and the other loss was to the LA Rams, which might be a Super Bowl contender as well. So Chiefs clearly number 1. There was no debate on mine, and at least with myself, it was none. So let's go back over the top 5. Well, the power rankings. I call it the top 5 because it is the top 5. You could call it a whole lot of things, but 5, the Chicago Bears. The number 4, the Los Angeles Chargers. I almost said San Diego again. Los Angeles Rams. So the 2 LA teams is 4 and 3. New Orleans Saints coming in number 2 as they bounce back and win, and the Chiefs continues to win and win big win overtime against the Ravens. They are at number 1. So that's my power rankings going into week 15. Of course, week 15, the next couple of weeks, I think it's 30 games. And then with the holidays and stuff, with Christmas and everything, they then have 30 games for the rest of the next 3 weeks. Well, that's the next 2 weeks. I think week 17, everybody play on Sunday. So everybody had the same amount of rest going into the playoffs. So I think the 2 games is with Denver and the Cleveland Browns. Let me make sure, 100% sure. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I was gonna do a separate blog, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my normal Saturday blog and pick those games. Then let me pull it up just to be sure who's playing. And there was a bad loss for the Denver Broncos last week. Could have been in this playoff mix. Still is. If you had 6 wins right now, you have a chance to make the playoffs. It's just tough. Ravens on the tiebreaker. So right now the Ravens will be the 6th seed. Even though Miami won, they 7-6. The Titans, the Colts, also are 7-6. So pulling it up right now. I apologize. Phone been acting a little crazy though today, for some reason. Okay. If it pulls up, okay, here we go. Oh, Texas Jets. Okay, so I knew it was like 2 teams that had playoff implications and 2 games playing against a team that didn't. So, and that's the early game. Texas Jets at 4:30, and Browns Broncos. It's the nightcap on this Saturday. Both games on NFL Network. So most likely I won't be able to watch those games. So, but I try to check them out as much as possible. Plus I'm working anyway, so. And then of course we got this game, Chargers Chiefs, on Thursday night. So yeah, so big games. Denver probably must win for them. If you got 6 wins, you probably don't want to lose this week. So we'll see how those 2 games shake out. And Houston would have stayed ahead of the Titans and the Colts, who's nibbling at them a little bit, even though they still got 2 games over them. So that'll do it for this edition. Of course, join me Saturday. Video game playthroughs. It's gonna be tough to do some games. I'm probably just doing when I'm off. Call of Duty just had an update. I just played a little bit of it, so I'll be playing that live. Friday I'll probably do some. I've been doing some live feeds on Fridays. You know, the Fridays I'm off and the weekends I'm off. So Friday I might do something, either some more 20XX, like I said, I wanted to go back to Mega Man 11. There's a couple of games I wanted to go back to. God of War as well. I played a little bit of that. Try to do all the side stuff. So there's been things I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to finally get live as well, but I might not get that till after the new year. But still stay tuned to the channel. You never know, I might get some free time somehow and do something. So even though, like I said, my subscriber base is real low, so just leave your notifications on if you want to know when I do a video. But mostly now it's going to be either this time of night or when I'm off. I might do some live stuff and some live feeds, and my blogs will be recorded now on a late night tip. So they'll be available like usually, like I said, Wednesdays and Saturdays. So that means this blog is about midnight now. So I said it'll be available no later than 6-7 in the morning. And Saturday blog will be the same way. We episode 84, which we have our normal weekly blog. We talk about the weekend sports. I mean, still a couple of days left, so something might happen significantly somewhere, and we'll cover that as well. Okay, but I thank you guys for if you're up early or whatever time you're gonna be watching this. I appreciate it so much. Big game this week. Chargers, can they clinch a playoff spot and try to challenge the Chiefs for the division, or the Chiefs close the door in the division and possibly close the door in the 1 seed if a lot of crazy stuff happened, especially if the Texans lose to the Jets on Saturday. That could give the Chiefs hope to clinch the double. So even though I think they're eventually going to 2 games with basically 3 games left, it's going to be tough. But I'm Troy West, and thank you always. Check out my other channel, The Open Book with Troy West. Might not be doing nothing for a while because that's like I said, I gotta have free time for that. But if I do, I did last week. I did mental health and sports, and I just kind of just do something when I feel, when I feel that channel out. For us, like if I'm dealing with something personally with my mental health, I'll come on. Or if I come up with a topic off my head, I will come on. But probably it won't be a while, just to be honest with you. Probably be a couple of weeks before I do another video for that channel. But I'll promote it either on social media or if I can through this. And thanks so much, and I hope y'all enjoying your week. Middle of the week is now Wednesday, so enjoy your week, and I'll talk to you guys Saturday morning. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.